Well, I'm about just shy of about 400 feet from a mile in from campsite 1, as I call it. I found another campsite 2, which is a lot closer to the river, and I think that's going to be a good place to camp. I finally made it to the river. I'll show you a picture of that in a second, but take a look at this. Hi, this is Joe Stewart. This week I've been exploring the western upper northern part of Michigan. Basic counties I'm looking at is Lake County, Wexford County, Mason County, and Manistee County. Today I'm in the Wexford County on the very western border of it, down by the Pine River, and there's been a variety of sightings in here over the past couple of decades. Within a few miles of this particular area. So today I'm going to hike the river looking for signs of Squatch and see what I can find. Well, I'm about just shy of about 400 feet from a mile in from campsite 1, as I call it. I found another campsite 2, which is a lot closer to the river, and I think that's going to be a good place to camp. I finally made it to the river. I'll show you a picture of that in a second, but take a look at this. This is what we call a teepee structure, and the thing about it is that these are always found in an area that has Sasquatch, in an area of large bodies of water, as we have here. Step back a little further so you can see the size of this thing. Now I'm high up on the banks. I'm probably close to 200 feet above the river. The access roads that I brought back, they petered out. They've been all closed off and all cut down. Trees, they're blocking the way, and it's all overgrown, so there hasn't been anybody up in here in a long time. But look at how intricate this is. It's all stacked together and locked together. And some of it is almost kind of decorative in a way. Doesn't serve any function, which I've seen before in their structures. Like this piece here, just sitting there. I could interpret that as an X, but I don't think so. I don't know how long this has been here, but all this is brought in from the general area. So I will now head west towards my other site and see what else I can find. Well, here's the shot from the teepee site. That's the river below. I get a lot of kayakers like this area. I mostly see kayaks in here. This is the Pine River. And as you can see, people like camp along here. There's some shallows in here. Maybe swimming, fishing. So, if you have Sasquatch, it's got a nice place right here where you can sit and watch people at night. So I'm going to go ahead and head due west. I am 1.8 miles from the location of another sighting due west of me. And as you can see, there's actually a trail that does go down to that river, but it's pretty steep. Alright, I'm going to continue on. One of the things I was thinking about when I've been hunting Squatch down in southern Michigan counties, there's a smaller population of them, and one of the things that I see lacking is is what we call stick lifts. These symbols are made on the grounds, usually on game trails. And the only place I've seen them of is like up in Oscoda County, which there's a real heavy population of Squatch all throughout that county. In here, I think I see some here I gotta check out. So far I have not seen any glyphs. I've seen, of course, stick structures, as you saw back there, which is teepee, which is always associated with water. So I guess the purposes of the glyphs is if you have a heavy population of Sasquatch, and it's basically road signs for other Squatches to tell them about things or where to go, or food here, whatever the purposes are. And until I find them here, I would think there's a lesser population in this area. If I find some, then I'm going to assume there's a larger population in here. Well, I found what I thought looked like a stick structure, but all the trees do have root balls. Now they in that configuration, but they're pretty well rotted out, so they were probably brought down storms and stuff over the years. I just found a stick laying here, but that could easily be somebody had a hiking stick and they just happened to lean it up against the tree. Even though Squatches do a thing called what I call stick or tree stacking, and they stack a variety of branches and things up against trees, and therefore they're trail markers for them. I usually find them off the main trails in the deeper woods rather than on the trails. Okay, I just heard a Squatch call due west of me, the direction I'm heading. It was maybe a duration of 10 seconds. I've heard these before. Up in Oscoda County. If it is what I think, then we know I'm here. I haven't seen anything since the teepee structure. I'm just following, looks like an old game trail. Keep the river to my right. That should keep me from getting lost. Looks like I'm on a ridge here, I'm coming down. Yeah, I heard the same thing years ago down in Hillsdale County when I went into an area. I had gotten down into a river. I was actually in the river walking it. I can't see the river now. I can hear it, but I can't see it. This ridge is taking me further away. And that ended in an episode of tree knocking. It was so rapid and loud, almost caused me to fall into the river. Well, I've been following a ridge. I've been following a game trail. Most likely they're going to walk a ridge. That gives them the best advantage. But I'm moving further and further away from the river. And the way it twists and turns, I'm slowly heading further into deep forest. I'm not really seeing any signs of them. And I don't know what getting back to the river is going to afford me, unless they're walking the edges of the river, which is possible, but most likely they're walking these ridges, following these game trails. But the one I'm on now doesn't appear to be that well traveled. Originally at the beginnings it was looked very well traveled, actually more like a bear path. So I'm going to backtrack. I got to climb this 400-foot hill over here, pretty close to 400 feet. And I don't know. I'm looking here and seeing if I can find another trail that might put me more down on the forest floor here, off the ridges. But I can hear the river, but it's way over in that direction. Alright, I'm going to backtrack and see what other options I've got. Okay, I'm back at the site of the teepee. Here's the plan. I'm going to make them do all the work and come to me. So I have to be out here around dusk, a little bit before. And what I've done is I left an apple on their structure. Vigilant, very much aware of their environment. So I created a glyph that I've seen them use on trails before. Directional glyphs. At least that's what I believe they are. And I built one here on the trail heading back to what I call camp number 2, which is about 1,000 feet from this location, about 1/5 of a mile. And I put some fluorescent tape above it to draw their attention to it so they won't miss it, because it is laying on the ground. And I'll take a position in camp tonight and use some of my techniques to call them in, and have a small fire, and we'll see what happens. I mean, there's supposed to be somewhat of a full moon tonight, but it's going to come up, I think, too late to be of any value to me. Alright, so I got that hanging in a tree, and right below it is a glyph that I have seen before. So I'm going to go ahead and photograph all this. Come back out tomorrow to see if anything happened. Now, the assumption on my part is that they're going to come through here tonight, but they may come through every once in a while. I mean, it is some sort of a main trail here. I mean, it's really a nice open, and it's easy. There's a side trail that's well traveled, looks like, that takes them down to the river. So I'm thinking in the roads and things are going to take them past least resistance, so this might be a very easy trail for them. That's why they got the structure there, marking water. At least all I can say is I've seen it around areas of water, but as to what it actually means, not sure. It's got to have some more. I mean, obviously you walk into an area, you can hear the river and everything, so you don't need something like that to tell you there's water there. But it tells you that it's an area that they frequent. Now, I could be doing my technique calls tonight, and I could be calling in from totally different areas where they won't even see this stuff. So I'm just kind of hedging my bets, and hopefully we'll get some action tonight. Once and for all, I got something really interesting here. I'm on my way to campsite 2, which I have in view right now. There's a deer kill here, and it all appears to be intact as far as bones. Well, some things are missing. The skull's missing. The interesting thing is that, well, maybe there is a skull there. It's just crushed. This access road, it dead ends. They closed it off. It doesn't go anywhere. And it doesn't look like anybody's driven on it in a while. And what's left of the carcass, nobody had driven over. So I saw deep imprints coming out the closed road over to here, as well as a pine tree about 3.5 inches in diameter that had been stepped on and crushed, and it's not rotten. So something with a lot of weight came down on that. But let me show you what I got here. Okay. We have some bones here and some vertebrae. There's some more vertebrae here. Here's some more bones here. That could be part of the skull right there, crushed. You can see all the fur. It's funny, you would think most of these bones would be dragged off into the woods, you know, porcupines and such. The last time I saw anything like this was in Sasquatch County in the swamps. There was 2 kills in there, and they were just exactly like this. And they weren't killed by bear, so I'm not sure. That's really interesting. Okay, I'm at campsite 2. Nice little clearing here. Thicker woods is maybe about 150 yards from the center. It's right next to the access road that comes in here. It's 2-track. I'll be able to park my car here. I'll set up a small campfire. Use my tools to bring them in. Make sure I got audio and everything on tonight. See what we can hear. And I'll have a small fire. And I'll have some things here for them to leave. Kind of start like a campsite of sorts. The only signs I've seen is the teepee, and I haven't really seen anything else. But that's usually a big deal. That's a well-traveled area, so. I guess we'll head back and get everything I need for tonight and get back out here soon enough to create a new fire pit and see what the hell we can drum up. Okay, I was just standing here adjusting my GPS to continue my trek back to campsite 1, and I just got something thrown. I heard it come through the leaves and it hit over by this dead tree. Now it's windy out, so it's possible something got knocked out of the tree. But I'm also in Sasquatch territory, and they're known to do things like this. So if that's the case, that's exciting. That's means that there's a good possibility of good success tonight. I'm not seeing anything. Alright, I'm going to continue on my trek. I'll let this run a little bit just in case. I mean, it is pretty windy out. It's a good possibility something got knocked out of the tree. It's always been my experience that when you're in an area known for Squatch, you're under observation all the time. If they're around, you're under observation. And they'll follow you. And you won't even know they're there. Unless they want you to know they're there. I've caught them before on video and on my phone camera, totally by accident. I wasn't even looking for them. They just happened to get in the view as I was doing or painting with my camera, or happened to be taking a picture of something, and they were in the background. And I know there's bear in this area, but I haven't seen any tracks. Okay, this is interesting. I have not seen this before. I totally missed it. Let me get this GPS out of the way. That's sweet. Now, that did not fall there. That was placed there. As you can see, there's all these trees are much further away. This is dead. Now, it could have come from this tree here. Most likely it did. There are some branches here, but it's in on an angle here, which is really interesting. Looks like it's no, it's not jammed in the ground. Possibility it could have fallen up from the angle. I don't see how. It's coming in from a totally different direction with the tree would drop the mat. It would have to be off in this direction. And as far as this tree is, about maybe 75, 80 feet away. Pretty interesting.